Okay. Still working with the program. Anyhow, I am currently doing some additional testing for Lightcam, but I'm also thinking of doing this also as a bit of a mod review, and you know, now that I think about it, I might want to silence that music. Normally I don't, but this may be one of those times where I just sort of need to do that, so. There we go. I'll just have to watch the... Yeah, I need to do something about that. Okay, as I was going to say, this is my testing world, which is almost, but not quite the same as my usual solitary craft world. And there is a mod in it that you may be noticing, if you're familiar with it, seriously resembles Tinker's Construct, but also a bit of Mind Fantasy, because there's actually Bellows here. So it's a bit of both. Let me see, what's my temperature? Okay, perfect. Now, how this operates is very interesting, and there's different ways of doing stuff with it. It's sort of, again, like a combination of Mind Fantasy and Tinker's Construct. Now, how you get started is first you craft this hammer here. It's called a Blacksmith's hammer, and I really hope my resolution worked out this time, because this is a bit different. But anyhow, it's basically 4 iron and 3 sticks in a formation similar to some hammers, but not quite the same as others. So if you're playing with Pixelmon, where it's like 5 iron around it, then this recipe will just completely be fine because you won't be conflicting with anything. But if you're playing with things like, have stuff like battle axes and stuff like that, then it's going to get a little weird. One thing I'm trying to do is eliminate that black border. So I'm wondering if I match my resolution, will that work? So again, I'm also testing Lightcam while doing this simultaneously, so this is a bit different. And again, you're probably thinking, hey, I'm in survival mode. I'm standing on this thing and not being burnt. That's different than Tinker's Construct, isn't it? Yeah, you may notice this layer here isn't really lava or anything related. This is actually charcoal. It's blocks of charcoal. Well, you put the blocks of charcoal in as a kind of it's almost like a catalytic fuel. If you've ever done actual barbecuing, you'll know that you can use lava rocks to retain heat. Well, this is a similar principle. In this case, it's using charcoal, and you are not going to be in my way. Shoo. This is a... Thank you. This is a mod review / testing. I'm not just playing around in survival right now, and I'm not on my other world, so please get out of my way, Mr. Mega Furby. It sort of ruins the classic fantasy / medieval touch that this sort of shows too, so shoo. Anyhow, what you do to get started is you take a book and you use that hammer with it in a crafting grid. It won't use up the hammer. It just slaps a picture of a hammer on the book, and it suddenly becomes your guidebook. And it describes how this is constructed as a multi-block structure. Again, sort of like the smelter in Tinker's Construct, but not exactly the same. Now, this block is something you'll need. This is sort of the forge interface. Or at least I think they call it that. There's different blocks. Again, you can check it out all in this book. Here, under the forge multi-block. So this is about the structure. About it, it's now you need special tanks. That's actually what's really on the inside. That's not just charcoal. That's actually tanks containing the charcoal, and they're called charcoal tanks. When you use the interface, you can input your charcoal. And here's the okay, well, I am not used to having my screen this small. This is really weird. I was doing this fine before. But anyhow, you'll need all sorts of these different blocks, and it'll describe it mainly in this book, like the charcoal tanks and several other portions. It may be better if I do this under the creative tab. Actually, I'll switch to creative and show off what some of these are. There we go. Okay, this is in, I think, like the last set. It's called Alchemycraft, but it's more about forging stuff. Let me see. Some of this stuff I'll show off. It's over there. Okay, what you'll actually be needing for this structure is you'll be needing the forge interface. Yeah, I was right about that. Forged charcoal is used as fuel, and that's basically almost like a coal block, but made out of charcoal, so it's just 9. Got the forged bellows, which are those things I got on the side. They help. Actually, you do pump it, just like with regular bellows. There's the forge vent, which those are actually attached to. I also, like with Tinker's Construct, some blocks count as part of the structure, even though they're not exactly just the main brick. Well, and you'll be needing a lot of these forged bricks, speaking of which. Now, some of these are optional. Got the forged redstone port and the forged item import. You don't really need those, but it's sort of nice because the forged redstone port puts off a signal if the heat gets too high past some point, and I'm not entirely sure how to set that because this mod's very work in progress right now. The forged item import basically lets you automate this to a degree by allowing it to bring items into the forge automatically. That's a creative item. That's again part of the other blocks. Forge access port is special. You can actually have more than one of these per structure, but you can't have more than one forge interface per structure. So when it comes to these things, the forge interface, you can only have one of those. But you can put multiple access ports so that you can access it from different portions of your structure regardless. Now the forge distributor is also very important. It is how you actually put stuff in the forge to be heated up for actual processing. You also probably need one of these, the fireproof glove. Now I've also got something that means that whether I'm in survival or not, I'll be immune to fire. In fact, I can basically show that to you both ways, because I'm going to demonstrate briefly how you operate this thing and how it interacts with this forge anvil, this special armoring station, and some of these things are again work in progress. But this is some of the blocks in the mod, like this one is a, I'm trying to remember what it's called, but I can look that back up again later. Now this is supposed to be for alchemy, so this is like an alternative means of doing brewing and potions and doing research for alchemy, and hence the name of the mod, Alchemycraft. But I don't know how developed it is, so if the mod developer shows this, I will show off more aspects in like multiple parts if I need to, because this looks like it's going to be a cool system. Now, the grindstone's supposed to reduce your tool durability in exchange for making it stronger or more powerful. And you can actually make custom tools like in Tinker's Construct. So this is almost like a 1.8 version of Tinker's Construct, but it's not by the same people. It is comparable though, and it has additional aspects that does not have. So if you're looking for a replacement, like you're saying, well, this Tinker's Construct is only in 1.7.10, but this is in 1.8. In fact, this is only after 1.8, which is interesting. So yeah, and item shoe. I'm going to show stuff off here, so please. Okay, where was I? I was going to show off how, even in survival, there are ways of dealing with this. Now, what's my heat at? Okay, 914 currently. Good. I can show off how this works and how you have to get things in the right margin. Okay, now these are steel ingots. You can make these by smelting a special steel mixture, and it also has that in the book. But if there's other mods past 1.8 that have steel, it might adjust the recipe automatically. It actually mentions that as a default recipe, and I think what he means is that if you have something else that includes steel, you'll use it instead by default, so you got to be careful about that. Now, these are steel ingots, and you can substitute some metals for some of the recipes, but there's also these things called tongs here. I'm not entirely sure if you use these to pull items out and in like you do with the gloves. Oh, okay, it does. It has this extra interface over here. Well, the gloves do too. And that's basically what they're here for. Is you see you only get one here, but with the tongs you get 4, which is really cool. Now I'm going to show how to do this part now. For every distributor you have, you can put in one material to get heated up and operated with, and I can see I've already taken enough time to have to do this again, so there you go. Stay over there, son. I don't want anything interfering with me right now, since I'm technically in survival at this time. You don't actually see very many of these reviews in survival, so I'm doing this a bit differently, showing you how this would be done now. These have their own recipes, and those are also in the book as well as in NEI, which, yeah, since this past 1.8, please take advantage of NEI. Because this is for example, this mod pack, in addition to the ones that are defaulted with it, I put in some of my own, so I've got about 100 mods. It would be really ridiculous to try to memorize every recipe, even for me. I'm usually pretty good at that, but it would just be ridiculous. So, yeah, that will definitely help. Now, I'm about to... Did I seriously pick up that item? I don't need any of that. Okay. I am going to heat up a piece of steel and demonstrate how this works. Now, it is saying it is hot. You can see the heat going up for it and going down, etc. And it says durability 2000, material steel, and it says heat, and it says the heat minimum and maximum, like minimum 1000, maximum 1400. Now what that means is you can see the heat over here is below 1000 right now. But if I give a quick click to these bellows, I'll start pressing some additional heat into the forge. So the heat's gone up a bit. It's now at 867, I believe. And if I get it over 1000, I'll be able to work with that iron. Well, actually, it's steel, sorry. Iron's included in the recipe, though. Well, you know, real steel is iron, carbon, and a few other things, so you'd figure that'd be pretty logical. So I'm going to drive up the heat, and I guess you could probably say it might be a wise idea to have more than a few of these vents and bellows. Like, for example, I can stand strategically and not even have to move. If I'm right about here, I think I got enough reach. Now, the structure itself does have to be valid. Like, it goes with certain rules. Like, functional blocks that aren't the bricks can't be at corners to be registered. But the area does have to enclose things. Like, you have to have these different brick-related versions, like the forge brick, the vents, etc., located around the charcoal tanks, and then you load them up with charcoal. Like, for example, in here, well, here's your forged charcoal, and here's basically it saying how much of it you actually have in here. Now, mine that I made is a little bit big, so it may be a little excessive. I mean, you could do this with a smaller one, I believe, and the more you fill it, the better it gets, so you will be using a lot of charcoal. So if you have to farm a lot of trees, it'll be worth it, but at the same time, I'm so close. At the same time, it will probably use a lot of resources. So in my actual survival series, this will probably be sort of high-end, like after I've already been doing serious mining or getting alternatives to mining. Like, I know that I can obtain fuel, like coal, alternatively. Like, I can defeat wither skeletons and stuff for that, so after I go to the nether and stuff, that'll be fine. But other resources, like the charcoal, you can only get in certain ways. Like, I can only farm trees for it. So that sort of means that this is sort of a mid to late game thing because of the resources gathered, and the fact that some of them have a very particular pace. In fact, right now, check this out. I'm going at a particular pace. I can't pump these any faster. Oh yeah, that one. Okay, not quite the margin I want for it, but we'll see. Another thing about the book. Click up here to go to the main menu. By the way, there's like a little tab here. It doesn't quite just automatically go between things. The art of smithing, we have things about the anvil and armor creation. Well, with the anvil, it has things like your blacksmith's hammer, the anvil, which has the same amount of iron required than a vanilla. It's the same amount of iron required as a vanilla anvil, actually, but in a slightly different formation, as you can see there. It has the thing about the fireproof glove, which is for use for transferring. But then there's this interesting screen, and what it shows is different recipes involving the anvil. What you do is you click these symbols inside the anvil's GUI system, which stands for Graphical User Interface, if you're not familiar with it, but I like pronouncing it as is, so just the way it goes. Now, you can see here you can make a pickaxe head, like axe head, shovel, like a tool rod type thing for like the shaft of your pickaxe. You can make these plates, and you can make these chains. Now, how it works is what I'm about to demonstrate. Now, I am going to try to make something extra here. I'm going to try to make a steel shovel. So I need to look at what these things are saying. Like, for example, if you're trying to make these iron or steel plates or whatever, whichever plates you're going for. Excuse me, must lick lips, again dry. Winter. Anyhow, these plates and these chains are used in making armor, and in a pretty complex set of recipes too. Now, some of these other things are useful for making tools. I haven't actually tried making a tool of my own yet out of steel, but I will. And I think these numbers indicate how many times you have to hit the anvil, because I've noticed it took longer for me to make chain whenever I was testing that out than it did for me to make the plates. Now, some of these are saying different numbers, like it's saying, like, if I want to make a pickaxe, it would take 12 hits. And if I want to make this, it'll take 8. And this is sort of like this compressional sign here, meaning you're basically squeezing it. And here's the press, sort of like you're pressing it into the plate. And you've got basically similar things over here. So I'm deciding that I'm going to make a pickaxe. So I believe I'm going to need to squeeze. I think that's a bend, and that's a bevel. So I need to make these 3 symbols for that. And this is squeeze and then squeeze. So it would sort of make sense if you're trying to crush things into a rod. So I will try to make sure. I think that may have paused the game when I did that, which would be good, because I don't want to lose too much heat. Yeah, I lost. It didn't entirely pause things. At least I don't think it did. I mean, it might have. I may have just already been losing heat. Okay, let's see how much heat I've got, because it should be forgeable. Yeah, right now it's saying forgeable. Now, on my character right now, I, in my baubles inventory, have a flame talisman, which allows me to be basically fireproof. That's not with this mod, that's actually with talismans too. But it comes in really handy with this mod because it makes you fireproof, so, you know. I will still essentially catch on fire whenever I grab this, if I grab this into my main inventory, or in any slot. See, I'm on fire. And yeah, that's how that works out if you do it straight. And by the way, this is not completely shift-click compatible yet with most of this stuff. Now, if I were to grab it with these fireproof gloves, which is one of the first things you can make to deal with this problem, note, I'm not on fire. Now, I put this back in here. It's still hot enough, so I should be able to work it. And now that I have tongs, I can do it that way as well. So that's pretty cool. Now, you have to click whatever you're trying to transfer between with the item that helps you transfer. So if you've used the tongs on the forge, you're going to have to use them here with the anvil. If you use the fireproof glove, you have to use that instead. Now, note that this is still hot, so it should be fine. Now, I need to consult my book real quickly. To make a pickaxe, I have to press that and that. So, note the symbols. Okay, I take those away. I need to curve. I need to bevel. And now, here's where sound effects come in. By the way, it's already stated, this has the ability to be... Oh yeah, that's right, I have my master sound off. Sorry, you probably would want to hear this, so... Yeah, I was doing that not to... Hear that ring? Yep, it's making a pretty cool sound effect whenever you hit it with the hammer. It's like a real blacksmith's hammering job there. So, it's hammer time. Also note the hammer takes durability damage, the fireproof gloves and the tongs do not. So, yeah, you might want to be wary of that. Aha, it's saying my steel pickaxe head is ready. Now, if I take these 2 symbols off, put an additional one for squeeze, then whenever I put one of these into the forge, then I should be good very soon. What's my heat at? Okay, it hasn't lost too terribly much, but I might want to use the bellows a little bit more anyway, just for that margin, because some of this stuff will try cooling down on you, so... Yeah, I mean, if it's already close to your margin, you might want to do things quickly. So, I got my fireproof glove. I've got my nice forgeable hot iron that says it's definitely above the margin. And I have my blacksmith anvil and hammer all at the ready. So, this is all good. Yeah, getting that forge sound. And note the progress bar. It's a lot like whenever you're trying to do a furnace, except the product is already essentially used up until you get your result. So if you're trying to forge with this iron, just remember, once you start the process, you have to keep continuing. And here is my steel rod. Now, this should be able to work with one of these tool stations here. At least I think this is the tool station. No, this is the armoring. I think this might be the tool station. Okay, so I put that in there. And now I will get a steel pickaxe because I put my steel rod and my steel pickaxe head. Note that for only one material, you get the rod that basically operates as the handle. So it's not like you use two sticks. It's like you just use one rod and one tool head of the particular type. This has 3,000 durability, and I'm pretty sure this will harvest materials as if it were iron. Let me see. Should I test that? I mean, I guess I could. There's not too many... Oh, you. There's not too many things that really require iron. So, how about I just throw something around and analyze if it works that way. So I will switch to creative here. And, oh yeah, that's right. Again with that. Sunlight, stay over there. I'm busy. And you know what they say about burning daylight? Well, I'm adding more. Okay, now, to be able to test this out, I obviously need something that requires a mining level of iron, or perhaps even diamond. So, let me go to building blocks here. Have a little too much stuff, admittedly. I was trying to actually make some of the armor. I have the plates. I'm actually wearing an adjustable helmet right now. The recipes are in there as to how you do it, and it is very complex. And it's not integrated fully with any eye. So, yeah, I'm not sure entirely how you adjust them, but I do know it is supposed to be possible. Now, currently, I think... Well, this is the one you use to make your armor. And it's actually, like, 2 blocks long, I believe. Yeah, that was both of those things. That is the tool. That's there. Where was the adjusting table? Or did I get it yet? Here's the adjusting table. I thought I might have forgotten something. That is total work in progress there. Yeah. I mean, some of the other stuff looks fine, but... Only one slot. Well, let's see if... 5 things. Interesting. I'm not entirely sure how to work that yet. Could I put additional plating in? No. How about an emerald? Nope. Oh, I know. Classic upgrade structure. Did it throw it back to me? Okay, it does not retain it. Special note, it does not retain it. Okay, so I'm going to have to trade off something to be able to do that. I've already got enough food, so let's say I give myself a diamond, or several. Let's see if it does the classic diamond upgrade. Going, I see. You want to put diamonds in this. No, it does not. It does not care. Not sure how that works. Well, not a big deal. I know it's work in progress, so moving on. What I was originally going to do was trying to see anything with a level of iron required to do it. So, let's see here. And then I'll see if it can do an emulation of diamond level. Again, screen is smaller than normal trying to match this. So let's see, diamond ore and obsidian. Okay, if it can handle both of these things, whenever I switch back to survival, I will know exactly how strong this really counts as. Because I've just made a custom tool. Will it count as iron, obsidian? I mean, will it count as iron level or diamond level? I mean, can I harvest all the way up to obsidian with it is what I was basically trying to say. Again, out of it, testing stuff, little odd. Need to recover. But, let's see if I can recover through this. Okay, so... it's mining a bit slow. But I got my diamond. So... it's a bit sluggish. Let's see, can you harvest obsidian? Looks like it's taking a while, but I do see some cracks, and even regular diamond level tools take a while to harvest obsidian. That's why you usually want them enchanted with some serious efficiency. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check and see if this is enchantable. It's basically a custom tool, and I know in Tinkers how it worked was a little different because you had to, like, if you made a custom tool, you had to customize it with special blocks. You couldn't do it with, like, vanilla enchanting. So please be diamond level. We're all waiting for you, Obsidian. You can do it. Almost there, I think. If this takes too long, I'll have to reset the sun again. Come on, break. Break. Break! Yes. It will harvest obsidian. It just takes a while. Sorry about that. Did not realize it was going to take so long, but it did, in fact, work. You can harvest obsidian with a steel pickaxe that you make yourself using this forge. So that is one of the advantages of this mod, is you can create essentially diamond level harvesting while... Wait a moment. How did it use up that much durability? Did it seriously... It took that up for just holding on to that. Huh, it even rates your mining speed like Tinker's Construct. Oh, it's going up, so the grindstone's working, it's just not animated. Okay, let's try this again at mining speed 10, shall we? And it's got... Now, can I repair this up and still keep that mining speed? That's an interesting question. I do have something in this mod pack that can handle it. Oh, that is much faster. That's much faster. I don't know what the mining speed was before, but this is totally working. Yeah! Okay. Now let's just handle the ore. Oh yeah, yeah. That totally rocks. I'm digging how that works. So I'm going to be really happy whenever I get farther in this, like, okay, any progress in this mod later on. So I can still adjust them with the grindstone. That thing is for making the tools. This is your alchemy, and look at this fancy setup. Isn't that cool? I mean, I don't even know how it's gonna work compared to regular brewing, but it looks cool. And this is for adjusting your armor, but again, this is work in progress. Some of the features aren't done yet, but it's looking very, very promising to me. So I'll try to see if I can talk to the modder about this and see if things are working right now. I'll just work the bellows a little and see where my heat's at. And I will be setting myself... Ooh, it really has dropped since I've been taking a while. Whoops! Should have thought about that. And as the sun's setting, it might as well also do so with this video. So, what was that? Did I have a streak? I don't remember activating that mod. Anyhow, this is Glitch Reaper, and I guess I will be signing off. And hopefully, we will be able to see more of this promising mod later on, both in my series and to anyone else who's using this after 1.8. I'm thinking this will probably be very friendly towards people who love to customize just about everything. And, by the way, one last thing about this mod I forgot to mention before. There's a config to register more materials, so yeah, that could be fun to work with. So this is Glitch Reaper with my final thoughts on this mod being cool, customizable, and well, promising and, for that matter, work in progress. So this may wind up being multi-part over time as I show off more. This is Glitch Reaper, and I am signing out. Bye for now.